Welcome back to the Red Dirt Road podcast. I'm here, your host, Marshall Farnsworth, here with Alex Breitenbach and special guest Tim Schultz, country music musician, living here in Nashville, Tennessee. You want to say something about your music and yourself, Tim?
Yeah. I'm Tim Schultz, a singer, songwriter, comedian. Spent the last 15, 16, 17 years. I'm not even sure anymore. Mainly traveling back roads, doing one-nighter comedy shows and little bitty medium market comedy clubs for the most of the time. Small casinos and stuff like that. But living here in Nashville, and we're putting out a new music video every week. And going to do that until we run out of time, songs or money. And so however that works out, y'all can find that at tim69.org.
Nice.
There's always been a nonprofit organization.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So
good for you.
We let's see. We are going to start with the Kix Brooks self-titled album. We had a few Ronnie Dunn songs, and then we're getting into Kix Brooks' self-titled album released in 1989. We're starting today with the first song on the album, Highways and Heartaches. It was all the songs on the album are written or co-written by Kix Brooks. This one is written by Kix Brooks and a guy, Chris Waters. He wrote a few number one country hits. I looked him up. A couple of the songs that he wrote, Chris Waters, that I tend to enjoy are Better Things to Do by Terry Clark and That Ain't My Truck by Red Atkins.
Yeah.
A couple, just my general opinion of the song, I enjoyed it. I'm not in love with the whole album right now, but I do like the song. It's got a 20-second guitar intro around there. The first few lines basically talk about it's getting harder, getting back to this woman, kind of relating her to a highway. And the next few lines talk about some friend of his named Jackson Willis who took the woman away.
Jackson Willis.
Is that a famous name or something, or is that?
Oh, anyone named Jackson Willis, anyone that's got their last name first, you got to worry about them. They're way ahead of you, and they're gonna get your girl.
That's true.
Boy, Mr. Steely Girl there.
It sounds like an old west kind of thing, like Clint Eastwood. He always said his last name first, Eastwood. So
yeah,
some of that type of thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It had a good, kind of metaphor, or not metaphor, but play on words there at the end of the first verse. You're a shotgun rider, and I'm shot down again. Kind of play on words and also relating to heartache and highways. The chorus pretty much just repeats the line, highways and heartaches run together in my mind. Second verse, he talks about getting tickets on the road, and also mentions the many times that he's been loved and lost. And the rest of the song kind of continues choruses and guitars. What did you guys think of this song?
I mean,
we'll start,
personally,
with Alex.
Yeah. Personally, I happen to really like this song. I mean, comparative to the other like the rest of the album, I think this is a great lead-off track. It's nice. It's upbeat. Like, doesn't even matter what the content is. Like, it's just upbeat. It kind of gets you like boogieing sort of. I kind of got that vibe from it, and I genuinely pretty enjoy it. I enjoyed this song. I know we couldn't really find lyrics online, but you definitely hit it right there with the lyrics are good. I like that. And personally, I think this is it's one of the better songs that we've broken down so far. I mean, I think that this is a better start, like at least listening to Kix Brooks comparative to like the first song that we went over with Ronnie Dunn with It's Written All Over Your Face. It's a little bit more like in-depth, upbeat, a little bit more happy, and I kind of like that. I really like that about this song. I thought it was really cool.
Tim, what did you take away from this song?
Well, it's definitely that late '80s, early '90s vibe and the whole thing, and a truck driving song to boot. You know, uh, it's just very the snare and the guitar is just like really giving away of the time that it was in country music, and back then it was a different time. There was you wrote an album and you had like the whole thing told a story from beginning to end, and now we live in a singles market. And so I think probably with the whole album, this was a good way to introduce you into the album. It's a good dance song, and dancing was a big part of that era, which now I guess with social distancing, I guess it's going to be kind of hard to two-step from 6 feet away. You know?
Oh
So,
Yeah.
but in this time, dancing was a big deal in that beat. It's a great song to dance to. So.
hmm
Is there anything that stands out to you about this song with just like that we wouldn't know, like as far as like, you being like a songwriter and singer, anything
I
about it?
think that it was a well-structured song. It was one of those that was recorded, never probably thinking that it was going to be a hit. It was part of the filler or part of the backstory for the whole theme of the album, that the story that he was trying to tell. Especially in '89, I'm not sure how old he was. He was out of college, so he's probably around 30 or so. Then by the time he got this album out, and a 30-year-old is definitely has a different idea of what life's all about than a guy that's been on the road actually, for 30 years. And, so this is kind of his story, but I don't know that he was ever a truck driver. He just made this shit up,
I don't really recall him being a truck driver at all.
Yeah. It
I
could
don't
have
know.
been the other guy's story too that came to the writing session.
Yeah.
That's how that kind of works.
I mean,
Never
hey,
know.
the trucker vibe from like early country music, that stuff sells. So I mean, like, hey, it doesn't even matter if you necessarily lived it or not. Of course, that's a plus. But hey, like people love hearing it when people sing about trucks and stuff. And, hey,
Yeah, and he was out there being an essential worker. He was getting the stuff done, getting it from town to town, getting harassed by the popo up there in Baltimore, paying tickets he couldn't afford. He had that, and then that Jackson Willis fella there. He knew that was a good guy, but I knew I shouldn't have left that girl alone with him. He was going to move her out on
oh
him.
no, yes sir, I like that.
So, yeah, I think at the time it was probably there was a lot of truck drivers that probably listened to it. I know that I owned this album at one time, back in the early '90s. That was about the time that I started my career, and I pretty much consumed. That was been one of those things that was on the bargain rack at Walmart. I think it was like $4.99 for the cassette tape, but I know that I owned that. At one time, so I remember the whole album. But anyway, it is good. Sacred Ground when y'all get to that one. That was a big hit for McBride and the Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't a great album. It wasn't extremely successful, but I mean, it was like 2 years later that he, had that great album with Brooks and Dunn. So the potential was definitely there.
Well, yeah, he was in the writer pool at that time, and how the machine worked. I'm not sure who he was writing for. I guess Universal, whoever gobbled it up. But he was writing for some publishing company that was tied in with the major label, and so they all got to do their album after they did so much time, and some of them made better albums than others, then went on to bigger solo careers, and some of them found other places in the business.
You have something else to say, Alex?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm just saying that's a really good way of looking at it. I definitely think it was a great song and definitely a really good listen.
So I found Tim. He had posted this one song, number one song. I really like this song. I think Tim is gonna perform it for us here. Shows the country style, the comedy, it had a little bit of else too, like maybe a little rock in it. I felt like so. Take it away, Tim. Number one song.
All right, here's a song. And it kind of fits with everything everybody's going on right now, getting all divided and stuff. And I just wanted to write a song that let everybody know it don't really matter. We don't need to fight over stupid stuff. Thinking back on my late sissy and how she get worked up in a tizzy every time she got a hold of a People magazine. Consumed my other sins, Matty, Ben, and Brad, worried about J-Lo and Jim. For hours and hours she go on rambling. Who really knows, either here or there? Tell the truth, don't really care. I couldn't give up Rock's fat ass with two lizard lips. It's all I can do, just find it my own, pulling the weeds from the seeds I've sown. To get caught up in what some other folks have done. I'm just trying not to step in number two, looking out for number one. A recent post from my big brother makes it clear he ain't no liberal lover. He's the middle child, but I'm the one who's the caught in between. I wish we could have put down our politics, pick up a couple of beers, and hit on some chicks like we did before we became so down a sensitive. Who really knows, either here or there? Tell the truth, don't really care. I couldn't give up Rock's fat ass or two lizard lips. It's all I can do, just find it my own, pulling the weeds from the seeds I've sown. To get caught up in what some other folks have done. I'm just trying not to step in number two and looking out for number one. I'm just trying not to step in number two and looking out for number one. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you. That
awesome,
was
Tim.
unbelievable. Really liked it.
So you can find Tim on where did you say YouTube
On
and
my
Facebook?
website, it's tim69.org, and then I got buttons that'll send you off to whatever you want to go to.
Nice.
Awesome. So check that out. Like you mentioned, bunch of music videos coming out. Hope that went through clearly enough on the audio side of things. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll find out, huh?
It was a good listen, though. I like it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, definitely a very good song, especially for now the current climate of it all. Like break bread instead of fighting each other, man. Like people too divided nowadays. But
that's what this podcast is. It's like I mean, I feel like I do have opinions, but it's like this podcast. It's about the country music, which I feel like kind of what the song is a little bit about.
Yes,
it's
sir.
About hanging out and stuff.
Yes, sir.
You're a little social distant dancing.
Oh yeah, a little bit of socially distant roach stomping dancing like that.
That wraps it up. The Red Dirt Road podcast. We will see you guys next week.
Thank you.